So last week I told you that the Democrats try to draw neat lines around what you're allowed to talk about. And also that's why impeaching Trump over that specific issue of the Ukraine phone call is stupid. Because the counter-argument from the Republicans, even though it might not be landing right this moment, I think in the long run it will land. And that counter-argument is, you're coming after me for doing a phone call trying to get dirt. What about the dirt that actually exists? What about the fact the Bidens are corrupt? His son's getting $50,000 a month from a Ukrainian energy company? Are you kidding me? This is okay? So they're going to hammer away on that. And that's why the how dare you, sir, approach to politics and the norms humping and the don't be impolite arguments are so silly because you're only winning that argument. You're only going to win that argument in the long run in your own bubble with people who already agree with you. Okay, so now we have, again, this story is mind-blowing, but it's real. Take a look at what happened with the Daily Beast. They're reporting here, exclusive, Biden campaign demands TV news executives stop booking Giuliani. The former vice president's aides say that it is editorially irresponsible to book the president's personal lawyer. All right, now let me pause. Why? Why is he saying that? Well, hey, a lot of the stuff Giuliani says, he's a buffoon. And he's really dumb. So that's clear. And that's always screamed off the TV screen to me when I watch Giuliani. However, what is Giuliani focusing on like a laser here? And what's he just stating over and over and over and over and over? Every time they ask him about the phone call, Trump's phone call with the Ukrainian leader asking for dirt, Giuliani's like, oh, but there is dirt. And that's what's really important. And that's what we're going to talk about. His son's getting $50,000 from an energy company in Ukraine. Why? He's got no expertise in that field. Is that the way it should work? The vice president's son should get ridiculous amounts of money from foreign governments or foreign companies? You're telling me there's not influence buying going on here? Every time Giuliani's on TV, he's hammering away at that point. They said there's no reason to have him on. There's no reason to have him on. He's attached to Trump at the hip. What do you mean there's no reason to have him? Of course there's reason to have him on. He's Trump's personal lawyer. Are you kidding me? Of course there's a reason. Stop pretending like there's no reason. You might not like it, but there's obviously a reason. See, this is what I mean when I say they try to draw neat lines around what you're allowed to talk about and who you're allowed to talk to. And the reason is they know Giuliani's busting up Biden and exposing Biden and his family. They know he's doing that. That's why they're, how dare you, sir? Why would you invite on such a man who's uncivil and impolite and spreading demonstrable falsehoods? Oh, demonstrable falsehoods. So why do you care? If what he's saying is obviously untrue and it's easy to debunk and there's nothing here, well, then you wouldn't give a shit. You'd be like, okay, let the idiot run his mouth. It's fine. Nobody's going to believe it anyway. No, you're afraid people do believe it. And what a weird authoritarian move. Guys, just so you know, because when I first read this, I was thinking, okay, so Biden's campaign released a statement prodding the news companies, hey, don't have this guy on. No. It was a letter that wasn't supposed to be for the public. A letter directly to the executives of all the news companies, basically telling them, I demand you stop putting them on. You demand they stop putting on Rudy Giuliani. That's not the way this works. First of all, a president ordering media companies to do something, that would be insanely authoritarian. A campaign doing it? That's somehow even more pathetic, because the idea that you think you should have that ability or have that sway, it would be bad enough if it was a president, but for you, it's even worse, because, who are you? The former vice president, and now you're running for president, and you're running an abysmal campaign? Guys, this is the only way that he thinks he has a shot. In an authoritarian way, I have to control the narrative and tell people what they are allowed to do and are not allowed to do. It's just so embarrassing. What are you doing? So embarrassing. You're going to demand to TV executives, don't have on the guy that makes me look bad. Don't have, because he's stating demonstrably incorrect things. Or maybe some of the things are correct, and that's why you're afraid that he's on there. Because you think that narrative will stick. Because guess what? It's going to in the long run. So here's what they say. Joe Biden's presidential campaign made an extraordinary request to executives of top news channels on Sunday, asking them to no longer book Donald Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, on their programs. In a letter addressed to the heads of the major news and cable networks, as well as top news anchors, two top Biden campaign advisors made the case that by peddling routine falsehoods about the work of Biden and his son Hunter in Ukraine, Giuliani's presence on the airwaves is editorially untenable. We are writing today with grave concern that you continue to book Rudy Giuliani on your air to spread false, debunked conspiracy theories on behalf of Donald Trump. While you often fact-check his statements in real time during your discussions, that is no longer enough. By giving him your airtime, you are allowing him to introduce increasingly unhinged, unfounded, and desperate lies into the national conversation. The letter from top aides Anita Dunn and Kate Bedingfield reads. This is embarrassing, and it's incredibly authoritarian. This is the only way they feel. How are you going to fare in a one-on-one election with Donald Trump, where he's, whatever little weakness you have, Joe, he's going to drill down on that. He's going to focus like a laser on whatever little weaknesses you have. And the only counter argument you have is that the media shouldn't allow the things that are being said because they're not good for me, and I don't know how to respond, but I'll just say stop even allowing the conversations. In politics, you cannot draw cute little neat lines around the things that you declare are the only things that you're allowed to discuss. That's not the way this works. They're going to exploit every single little weakness you have, and what you're showing here is you have no real response. And by the way, all this, what did I say from the very beginning with this issue? It's like Clinton Foundation denialism 2.0. Because the media all decided at the same time in the 2016 election, all the stories about the Clinton Foundation, and they're all, these are all conspiracy theories, and so we're not going to take them seriously, and we're just going to brush them to the side. And what happened? Donald Trump was hammering Hillary Clinton over the head with it, nonstop, calling her corrupt, painting her as a status quo politician who is the swamp. That's exactly what's happening now with Biden. The same thing. The exact same thing. The media is like, well, they're getting demands from him. Hey, stop allowing on anybody to make the case that Biden's corrupt. And they're trying to, these are unfounded conspiracies. That's not going to work, man. In the same way it didn't work for the Clinton Foundation, it's not going to work for the Biden-Ukraine thing. You want to know why? Because the sons and daughters of vice presidents should not be making $50,000 a month from a random Ukrainian energy company, because we know that that's buying influence. We know that how dirty politics is. We know Biden has family members who literally started working as lobbyists and had interests that overlapped with his father's committee assignments. We know that, Biden was involved in war profiteering in the sense that he had family members who made money in defense as Biden oversaw the occupation of Iraq. The reason why he's flipping out is because he knows there's dirt there, and so he's only relying on the good graces of the media to be his attack dog for him. And just so everybody knows, you want to know the bias of the media? They have a pro-establishment bias, a pro-corporate bias, and that's why the thing they live night and day for is playing defense for the corporate Democrats. I just watched a segment the other night with Cuomo where he was like, there's no false equivalence. There's what Biden did in Ukraine and what Trump did in Ukraine, it's not the same, and Trump is way worse, and so it doesn't. So it's a conspiracy. His son got $50,000, but it's a conspiracy that there's anything wrong with that. Do you realize how dumb you sound to average people? And I'm somebody who agrees with the left. So, in theory, I should be more willing to look at something negative a Democrat does and go, well, that's not as bad. But no, you sound desperate and pathetic and dumb because your arguments make no sense. This is all they have, guys. This is all they have. Biden literally demanding TV executives, listen to him, don't have on Giuliani, don't have on anybody who's going to make the case against him and his family. That's not the way politics works, Joe. And you better sharpen your goddamn skills if you're up against Trump. Because I saw a hilarious tweet the other day. I think it was Internet Hippo. It's hypothetical general election debate between Trump and Biden. And Trump says to Biden, you're corrupt. And Biden's response is, well, now hold on now. See, what you need to understand is these kids these days, they need to start playing that game with the stick in the hoop like we played in the 1920s. And the last time that I was... Anyway, my time's up. Like, this is the kind of politician we're talking about here. And you're telling me he's the most electable? He's the most electable. Are you out of your mind? It's like we live in the Twilight Zone where everybody's believing the thing that's just insanely backwards. He's still leading the polls, guys. I mean, he's tanking, don't get me wrong, but he's still leading. He's still up there. That's crazy and that's scary. And then you're begging for another, 4 years of Donald Trump if you go in this direction. Bernie's the way, man. Bernie, let's check if Bernie's son was making $50,000 a month from a Ukrainian energy firm. Oh, would you look at that? The answer is, no, he wasn't. There's no there with Bernie. What's Trump going to attack with? Bernie, you're crazy, and you want to, give people things that are really good and positive. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I'm crazy? I'm crazy. Well, you're corrupt, and you're representing the establishment, and you're screwing over working people, so if it's crazy to fight for working people, call me crazy. Trump has no argument against Bernie. Trump's got so much on Biden that he's flipping out and demanding they don't even allow conversation on it. Pathetic, man. It's so pathetic. I cannot tell you how pathetic this is. And I can't believe that a week after I said to you guys, what the Democrats try to do is draw neat, clean lines around what's allowed to be talked about and what's not allowed to be talked about. As soon as I made that point, Biden went out of his way to prove me right. Where he's literally saying, don't allow the thing where they're coming after me because I don't know how to respond to that, and that's going to land. That's my point. That's my point. You see how pathetic the corporate Democrats are now?